Moving forward, the next question. Draw the structure of major monohalo product in the following reaction. Now, monohalo product, it is basically similar to what you did in case of CH3, CH2, 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 CH3, for example. And this was UV light or heat. Then monohalo compounds were produced. Okay. So for example, CH3, CH2, 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 Cl. This is similar case. Don't get confused with the presence of benzene ring because here benzene ring has double bond character. So these two double bonds due to resonance, these two will have partial double bond character, these two. So these can't be broken easily. Either hydrogen from this carbon or from this carbon can go and bromine can get attached. So it is monohalo product because it is UV light. Okay. And this one is actually this part. From this part, the hydrogen can be removed easily as compared to benzene. Now there are two carbons, 1 and 2. On which carbon bromine will get attached? For this, we need to understand the nature of benzene ring. Benzene ring is actually electron withdrawing group. This is something you learned in 11th grade. Benzene ring is electron withdrawing group. So it will pull the electron density towards itself. When it will pull electron density away from carbon, this carbon will get more positive charge because negative has been removed from this one. So this carbon will become more positive. More positive as compared to which one? As compared to carbon 2. Carbon 2. So which one is more positive? The bromine being nucleophile will attack on that carbon which is more positive. So that's why bromine attacks on this carbon, not on second carbon. The functioning should be clear. Divya, good evening. Yes, Ashi, on first carbon, correct? Divya, I hope now you are doing well, healthy and sound. Now the IUPAC name, okay? When you do the IUPAC name, this is your main chain. Can anyone tell me why this is, sorry, this is the main chain. Can anyone tell me why this is the main chain? No, Mac, one part is correct. That it has a group attached to it. That is correct. But having double bond is nothing because these double bonds are not functional group here. Okay, don't confuse these as functional groups. These do not exist actually. Benzene ring in itself is just one ring. Okay, now this one has been considered as main chain. First of all, I told you the rule that the outer part will be considered as main chain if there are three or more than three carbons chain, or there is branching as well in that case. But here in this case, benzene ring also has branching, nitro group. So it is actually nitrobenzene. So that's why this becomes side chain because there are only two carbons and benzene ring also has the branch. Understand the IUPAC naming in this case? So this one is nitrobenzene, and if it is nitrobenzene, this carbon is 1, 2, 3, 4. On fourth carbon, you have this one attached. And the rule says that the carbon which is attached to main chain will be numbered as 1. So that's why this carbon is 1, this carbon is 2. On first carbon, you have bromine, so that's why 1 bromo ethyl. The reason it is written as ethyl because here you don't have C6H C2H6. Okay, so it is not ethane. There is one bond here, so it is alkyl group. It is not main chain. So one bromoethyl and one bromoethyl. This one is attached to which carbon of main chain? It is attached to fourth carbon. So that's why 4, 1 bromoethyl, nitrobenzene. Just to understand this one, at fourth carbon, you have 1 bromoethyl attached to nitrobenzene. Yes, Ashi. Three, three or more than three. Now the next one. In this case, you have two OH groups. Two OH groups. But again, the same thing what I said in previous case. These two bonds have double bond character, partial double bond character due to resonance. So it is difficult to break these bonds. Chlorine will replace OH group. That is something you already know. Okay. But which OH group it will replace? Which one is easier? This one is not easier to remove because there is partial double bond character. But this one can be removed as it does not take part in resonance. It is away. So it means this OH group will be replaced by chlorine and you will get 4-chloromethyl phenol. So in this case, this one is phenol, and on phenol, 1, 2, 3, fourth. On fourth carbon, you have chloromethyl. Remember, if it is CH4, okay, it will be considered as methane. CH3, it will be considered as methyl. CH2Cl, it will be considered as chloromethyl. CHCl2, it will be considered as dichloromethyl. Methane, methyl, chloromethyl. Chlorine replaced hydrogen. Now two chlorines replaced dichloromethyl. So here it is CH2Cl2. So that's why chloromethyl at fourth position. One not correct. Next, draw the structure of major monohalo product. Again, monohalo product means there will be only one halogen attached in this compound. Yastika, the previous one. Okay. In this question, this OH group can be removed, cannot be removed easily because there is partial double bond character. It is directly attached to benzene ring. Similarly, here also partial double bond character cannot be removed. Only this OH group is attached like this, single bond, and there is no resonance there. So this OH group will be replaced by chlorine. Okay, and then this is known as chloromethyl, At fourth position, so 4-chloromethyl phenol. Is that clear now? Or any specific part is not clear, then let me know. Okay, good. Now this question, draw the structure of major monohalo. So means you have to just draw one, which one is major. There can be two in the following direction. Now this one is specific. Ashi, yes, correct, correct. Now this iodine will get attached to that carbon of the double bond. Remember, this is alkene, cycloalkene, cyclohexene basically. Okay, on which we have less number of hydrogen atoms. So there are two possibilities when this double bond will break. Both the electrons can come here, and then we will have CH3, and here, sorry, both the electrons can go here. Then we can have iodine here attached here. Or there is another possibility on the other side, if electrons go on the other side, then CH3 and I here. There are two possibilities. But as per Markovnikov rule, this one will be major because iodine is attached to that carbon, which has less number of hydrogen atoms. Remember, these all are CH2. Okay? And here this was CH, CH2, 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 and only carbon here, no hydrogen. So that's why iodine will get attached to this carbon, less number of hydrogen atoms. One iodo, one methyl cyclohexane. Major product. So it is simple Markovnikov rule you will apply here. Next, draw the structure of major. Again, this one is very simple. And who will tell me the name of this reaction? Who is going to tell me the name of this reaction? Yes, correct, Ashi. We have done this in this chapter. This is one of the preparation method of haloalkanes. Okay, good, Preeta. Vanna, good. Just Preeta, you need to check the spelling, but you are correct. Your answer is correct. Shashwat, good. Mehak, no. Okay, hint. This is halogen exchange method. Just you can see here halogen is exchanged. Now tell me the answer. Iodine is replacing bromine. So Hani correct. Arohi correct. Suhina correct. So many correct answers. Good. So this is basically halogen exchange method, Finkelstein method, where we get iodides. So iodine will replace bromine, and we will get ethyl iodide, iodoethane. Simple concepts. If you can remember, you will be able to answer the questions. Next, tell me the answer. This one again, mono halo product. Now this one you won't be able to answer. Just I'll have to explain first. Okay. So in this case, what happens? This is something specific, and you need to remember some points for this. Okay. You know, we talked about allylic compounds, vinylic compounds. Okay. Allylic halides are more stable. And this is something you need to remember. I'll tell you why. The reason is due to resonance. There is partial resonance in allylic compounds. So here obviously allylic halide, so I have written allylic halide. So what happens? This reaction actually proceeds through free radical division. So bromine gets converted to bromine free radical and the hydrogen, one hydrogen from here, this is CH2 basically. Here you have CH2, CH2. One hydrogen breaks from here and this again free radical is produced here. So this is free radical and bromine free radical. Now, why free radical happens? The reason is that allylic free radical is more stable. As I said, allylic compounds. So this is allylic free radical. Why it is allylic free radical? Because where it has the extra electron, the double bond is on the adjacent carbon. Allylic compounds are those in which the functional group or the group of R importance, for example, here bromine will get attached here. Functional group is one carbon away from the double bond, or in other words, the double bond is on the adjacent carbon of the functional group. So here, free radical, the double bond is on the adjacent carbon of the free radical. And these are more stable because here partial double bond happens. So this bond switches here, then again switches back. So this type of partial resonance happens here, and which makes this free radical, allylic free radical, more stable. So because allylic free radical is more stable, this type of free radical is formed and bromine gets attached to this carbon. So the product formed here is actually this. Double bond remains intact. Remember, we are talking about Br2, we are not talking about HBr. So don't get confused between the reaction of cyclohexene with HBr. It is not with HBr. It is with Br2, bromine. And in this case, allylic halide will be produced. Now, the naming of this one, and quite a few students remain confused that why it has been named as 3-bromocyclohexene. Again, the rule, if you remember from 11th, and that's why I emphasized there that when there is a double bond, numbering will always pass through the double bond. Pass. When there is a double bond, numbering will always pass through the double bond. It will not move away from the double bond. So there are two possibilities. The possibilities are that you can have first carbon either this one or this one, because this is the only functional group, double bond. Bromine is not the functional group, so you can't make bromine as one. If you make this one as one, and the rule says that the numbering will not move away, numbering will go through the double bond, it means this will be two, because it is, if you move away, then this could have been two, but we will move through the double bond. And then bromine will be on carbon, sixth carbon. Okay. But if we make this carbon as 1, then numbering will move towards the double bond, not away from the double bond. So this carbon will be 2 and bromine will be on third. 3 is less than 6. So that's why it will be 3 bromo, not 6 bromo. And this carbon will be 1, not this one. So it will be 3 bromo cyclohexene. You don't need to write cyclohexene because that is evident. Otherwise, this name will not be possible. This carbon has to be 1. Is that clear why the lower carbon will be 1, not the upper carbon of the double bond? Good. Now the physical properties, and then we will move to chemical properties. Physical properties in this chapter are important because the questions regarding that arrange these compounds in increasing order of their boiling point or increasing order of their melting points or so are asked. You need to be aware of. When we talk about the boiling point of chloride, fluoride, iodide, these are considerably higher than those of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons will be only CH3, CH2, CH3, for example. And halide will be CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. The reason is this is polar now. This is polar molecule. This is non-polar molecule. So it was non-polar molecule when it was hydrocarbon. So obviously the force of attraction will be less amongst the molecules. Polar molecules plus minus will attract each other with greater force. So that's why the boiling point will be greater of chlorides, bromides, iodides as compared to their hydrocarbons of comparable molecular masses. Means there should not be much difference in their molecular masses. Molecular masses should be same. So it is due to stronger intermolecular forces of attraction because of greater polarity, as well as if there is higher molecular mass will also play a role. So that's why it was written here comparable molecular masses. So if molecular masses are almost same, even then the halides will have higher boiling point due to higher polarity. The attractions get stronger as the molecules get bigger in size and have more electrons. Same thing, what we said here, higher the molecular mass, higher the force of attraction. Simple. For the same alkyl group, the boiling point, and remember we are talking about boiling point only, of alkyl halide decreases in this order. Means boiling point of iodides is greatest, then bromide, then chloride, then fluoride. Alkyl group is same. So for example, if I am talking about C2H5I, then it will be C2H5Br, C2H5Cl, C2H5F. In this case, greatest boiling point will be of Ri. The reason is again very simple. The reason is that iodide has higher atomic mass. So the whole molecular mass is higher. In this case, highest. Molecular mass least. So least force of. So here polarity and molecular mass both play a role. So this is because with increase in size and mass of halogen atoms, iodide, bromide, chloride, fluoride, okay, the magnitude of van der Waals forces increases. So magnitude is higher. That's why greater force of attraction, higher boiling point in case of Ri, then less RBr, less RCl, least Rf. The boiling point of isomeric haloalkanes decreases with increase in branching. branching is more, the boiling point will decrease because there will be less contact surface area. If you remember from 11th, if it is CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl, the molecule will be flat. Okay, there is another reason also, I'll tell you. Okay, there is another two reasons are there. Okay, Cl, CH3. So more contact area. So here branching is say one more. See, okay, more contact surface area, but melting point is something different. Okay, we will be talking about it. Melting point will be different. The boiling points of isomeric haloalkanes decreases. Isomeric haloalkanes with increase in branching. So if branching is higher, and that is again because branching, I'm giving you another example. CH3, CH2, 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 CH. And say another one is CH3, CH, CH2, CH2, Cl. And here you have branching. These are isomeric, same formula. Here you have flat structure. Here you have somewhat oval, so less contact area. Amongst molecules. That's why less boiling point decreases, boiling point decreases with branching. Same thing we talked about in 11th grade. So if you increase the branching, whether you increase the branching, so this is the first example which I gave. Okay. First, I gave you this example where I had bromine in branch, and then you can have methyl group in branch. Okay. Para-isomers of dihalo compounds have higher melting point as compared to their ortho and meta isomers. Now I am talking about melting point. So do remember melting point I am talking about. There is a very minute difference in melting points of dihalo compounds. Dihalo compounds means there are two halogens attached to the benzene ring. Para means there is benzene ring. Dihalo means there are two halogen connected at para positions with respect to each other. Means this is para dihalo compound. This one is ortho dihalo compound. This one is meta dihalo compound. So remember, para isomers of dihalo compounds have higher melting point as compared to their ortho and meta isomers because of symmetry. These have greater contact surface area. Yes, they were correct due to symmetrical nature. Due to symmetry, yes, Ashi, correct. Now, if you see, and if you see the melting point, okay, melting point of para, it is great difference as compared to ortho and meta. Ortho and meta isomer due to symmetry. But if you see the boiling points 453 is highest in case of ortho, then lowest in case of meta, and somewhere in between for para. Now, why this anomaly is there? The anomaly is because when we are talking about boiling point, it means these are in the form of liquid. Okay. And this one, if you see, this one has greatest polarity. Both the dipoles are pointing in very close to each other direction. So very less amount of dipole is cancelled by each other. So effective dipole is in this direction. And if you say this end will become negative, this end will become positive. It means the molecules will be attracted by one another with a greater force. So that's why highest boiling point due to greatest polarity. Now the question is that why this one has least boiling point, not this one, because here all the dipole moments are cancelled. All dipole moments cancelled completely, zero dipole moment. But here comes into picture the symmetry. Symmetry overrides here the dipole cancellation in dipole moment. So due to symmetry, the force of attraction is due to symmetry, force of attraction is greater than meta isomer. Otherwise, if we consider only polarity, para should have had minimum boiling point. But symmetry actually plays a role here, and that has greater force of attraction. So that's why slightly more than 40, but it's still very close to each other. Boiling points, not much difference. Melting point, much difference because of symmetry. Okay. Now you might ask a question that why dipole moment is not playing role in melting point? Because here these are solid. And in case of solid, the molecules are arranged in a particular manner. Not, they don't have flexibility that they can rotate and they can form dipole-dipole interaction. So in solid form, there is no dipole-dipole interaction because the molecules are not movable. In liquid forms, the molecules are movable and they can form dipole-dipole bond interaction. Next is solubility. Solubility of haloalkanes are only very slightly soluble in water. Haloalkanes are very slightly soluble in water. Why these are very slightly soluble? Because water itself has hydrogen bonding. So there is a hydrogen bond between two water molecules, basically many hydrogen bonds there. So it is difficult to break this bond and then get a bond with haloalkanes. Haloalkanes do not have any oxygen, any electronegative part. So this water molecule cannot get detached from other water molecule and then can get attached to haloalkanes. So how the solubility actually takes place? Suppose this is A molecules and this is another one liquid B molecules. And if we mix, this must be able to break these two bonds and there should be formed a new bond AB. Only then we can say that these two are miscible. But in this case, suppose this is water, this bond is not easy to break due to hydrogen bonding. So this bond formation will not take place. However, haloalkanes tend to dissolve in organic solvent. In water, these are not soluble, but in other organic solvents, these are soluble because new intermolecular attractions between haloalkanes and solvent molecules have much the same strength as the ones being broken. So in this case, AA BB bond strengths are almost same as between AB. So whatever energy is required to break these bonds, that much energy is released when AB bond is formed. So the energy released in bond formation actually fulfills the requirement for energy required to break the bond. Okay. So released and required are almost same. Then it will be soluble. If released and acquired and required are not same, it will not be soluble. Now the question. And these type of questions will appear whether it is your CBSE exam or it is JEE or NEET. These type of questions are very important. Arrange each set of compounds in order of increasing boiling points. Increasing boiling points, not melting points. Boiling point we are talking about. Bromomethane, bromoform, chloromethane, dibromomethane. Now for that, you need to first draw the structure. Bromomethane is just CH3Br. Bromoform is CHBr3. Okay, CHCl3 is chloroform, CHBr3 is bromoform. Then chloromethane, CH3Cl. Then dibromomethane, CH2Cbr2. Okay, it means you can consider this as Br and Br. And I told you that boiling point, if branching will increase, boiling point will decrease. If molecular mass will increase, boiling point will increase. Okay, so these two are similar, but this one has greater molecular mass because it contains bromine. Bromine atomic mass is greater than chlorine. Okay, so between these two, chlorine will come first, CH3Cl, and then CH3B. Now this one actually has three bromines attached, so you can write it like Br, Br, Br. But here, it is not about branching. I am going back. Higher the molecular mass, greater will be the boiling point. We are talking about boiling point. In this case, greater the molecular mass, greater the boiling point. But between these two, again the same thing, lowest molecular mass and greatest molecular mass. For alkyl halides containing the same alkyl group, the boiling point increases with an increase in the atomic mass of the halogen atom. So for that one, between these two, CH3Cl comes first. Then for alkyl halides containing same alkyl group, the boiling point increases with increase in the number of halides. Why? Because molecular mass increases in this case. Yes, correct, Vanna. Your answer is correct. Divya, correct. Good. So boiling point, one rule normally is sufficient, and that rule is the molecular mass. But if suppose we are talking about polar and non-polar, then obviously we will consider the non-polar ones will have minimum boiling point as compared to polar ones. Clear? Next question. Arrange each set of compounds in order of increasing boiling point. These are the questions options. One chloropropane. So one chloropropane, right? CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. Isopropyl chloride, CH3, CH, Cl, CH3. This is iso because it is actually like this. I have written it like that. Okay. It is isopropyl. And then one chlorobutane, CH3, CH2, 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 Cl. Now tell me, what should be the answer? Remember, we are talking about boiling point. All have chlorines. Okay, one good answer, correct. Ashi, good. Mac, yes, good. Now remember, compare these two. Here you have branching. It means second will have lower boiling point than one. Now consider one and three. Here, higher molecular mass, similar type, chloropropane, chlorobutane. It means third will have even greater boiling point. So it will be isopropyl chloride, one chloropropane, and then one chlorobutane. Ahan correct, Tuhina correct, Divya correct. Yes, Prita second will be minimum correct. Shashwat, yes, correct. So all these concepts, if you apply, you simply can get the answer very easily. Branching, molecular mass, polarity. Three topics we are talking about, 3 points we are talking about. Polarity, molecular mass, okay, and branching. Isopropyl chloride, one chloropropane, one chlorobutane. Now next part, reactions of haloalkanes and haloarenes. All these reactions are important and you will have to memorize all these reactions. There is no shortcut for that. There are particular patterns which will help you to remember the reactions sometimes, but practice will be required anyway. Now there are different two major types of reactions here. In this section we will be talking about, and then we will have more reactions, but two major types. So first one is nucleophilic. First, I will give you all, and then we will talk about two. Okay, in these basically, those are most important. First, I am giving you all. So reactions of haloalkanes. The first one, nucleophilic substitution, elimination reactions, reactions with metals, and then reactions of haloarenes, nucleophilic substitution, electrophilic substitution reactions, and the last reaction with metal. Nucleophilic substitution in both, whether it is haloalkane or haloarene. Reaction with metals in both. Elimination reaction and electrophilic substitution reactions, these are the different. So the first one and most important one, nucleophilic substitution reactions of haloalkanes. Nucleophilic substitution reaction, there are two types of mechanisms, SN2 and SN1. Third is stereochemical aspects of these two. So this is not the third type, okay? These are just stereochemical aspects, and by stereochemical aspects, we mean what is the hindrance of the connected groups. Whether the reagent will be able to attack the central carbon atom or not because of hindrance, or whether there will be a carbocation formed. So stereochemical aspects are related to that, which are applicable to both SN2 and SN1. And why we call these SN2 and SN1? SN2 means S stands for substitution, N stands for nucleophilic, and 2 stands for bimolecular. Means there are two molecules which decide the rate of the reaction. In SN1, S and N same thing, but here one means only one molecule, means reagent, only one reagent or molecule decides the rate of the reaction. That's why the names SN2, SN1. So it's not that second one we are talking about and first one we will be talking about later. SN2 means two molecules decide, SN1 means one molecule decide. A nucleophile reacts with haloalkane having a partial positive charge on the carbon atom bonded to halogen. So if you have this one, say it is Br here, this will be polar bond, slightly negative, slightly positive. So obviously nucleophile will attack on that carbon which has positive charge. Nucleophile will attack on the carbon to which bromine is attached because other carbons won't have that much positive charge. CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2Br, only this carbon will have substantial positive charge so that nucleophile can attack it. Here the charge will decrease further, delta of delta plus. A substitution reaction takes place and halogen atom called leaving group departs as halide ion. So it means nucleophile gets attached. So if this chlorine is attached, say nucleophile is here, nucleophile attacks here, gets attached to this one, and chlorine goes away. That's why substitution reaction. Okay. Since the substitution reaction is initiated by nucleophile, that's why it is called nucleophilic substitution reaction. So nucleophile attacks on the positive carbon and halogen leaves as halide. Halogen is bonded to sp3 hybridized carbon. So in this case, this halogen will always be bonded to sp3 hybridized carbon. Means we are not talking about this form. We are talking about this form. Here it is sp2 hybridized. Here it is sp3 hybridized. Now in this table, there are certain compounds which actually are the reagents which can attack on the haloalkane. So for example, if NaOH is there or KOH is there, then the OH group will work as nucleophile. OH will get attached. OH of NaOH or KOH will get attached to alkyl group. If you can remember this table, many reactions you can write. Okay? Very, very important table. It looks difficult, but if you can remember, it will solve a lot of problems. So NaOH will give OH minus, which will attack on carbon, and halogen will get detached. That's why alcohol will be produced. Similarly, H2O will give nucleophile as H2O. Why it is written? Due to mechanism. Actually, first H2O gets attached to the carbon, not OH group. So remember, here it is not like H plus OH minus. No. In case of NaOH and KOH, these are strong bases. and these get ionized into Na plus and OH minus or K plus and OH minus. So OH minus is available. But if reaction is with H2O and alcohol is being produced, in that case, OH will not get attached. First, H2O whole will get attached, and the mechanism will be like this. Say I'm talking about CH3, CH2, Cl, and H2O. So what will happen? Because this carbon is partially positive, this will oxygen will get attached to this carbon. So what will happen? CH3, CH2, Cl, and here OHO. Now, because both of these electrons have been given to carbon to form the bond, that's why oxygen gains positive charge. Remember why I have written positive here. Oxygen gains positive charge because it has given 2 electrons to carbon. Now, remember you have, when this got attached here, this carbon now has 5 bonds which are not possible at all. That's why chlorine goes away. So you have Cl minus. Sorry, this is hydrogen. Now to compensate this positive charge, this bond breaks and provides its electrons to this oxygen. When it provides its electrons to its oxygen, this hydrogen moves away as H plus. So effectively, now you don't have hydrogen here. You don't have positive charge here because hydrogen has provided both of its electrons. You don't have chlorine. Chlorine has moved away. Then these hydrogen and chloride, proton and chloride combine to form HCl. And here we get CH3, CH2, OH. More about mechanism I will be talking about later because at this time this much is sufficient. You will get confused otherwise. Okay. So first oxygen gets attached to the carbon. That leads to positive charge on oxygen because oxygen provides its electrons to carbon. But carbon now has 5 electrons. That's why chlorine moves away, taking both the electrons and forming chloride ion. After that, to neutralize the positive charge on oxygen, hydrogen gives its electrons to oxygen and moves away as H plus. H plus Cl minus combine to form HCl and we get ethyl alcohol. So that's why if you see here, the nucleophile is not written as OH minus. It is written as H2O, whole H2O combines. Then the reaction of alkyl halide with NaOR dash means say CH3CONA or C2H5CO, sorry, ONA. Okay. With this one, the nucleophile is this one. The reason is again it gets converted into ions. Sodium ion and R dash O or RO, whatever is that ion, okay, which is alkoxy ion. Okay, it is known as alkoxy ion in this case. Methoxy, ethoxy, if R is methyl group, methoxy, R is ethyl group, ethoxy. So this gets attached to carbon and halogen goes away as halide. Same thing is happening again and again. Next, NaI, again same thing. This is basically Finkelstein reaction. Okay. Then NH3, whole NH3 first gets attached and it is similar reaction as we have seen in H2O because nitrogen has electron pair. So again, the same thing, this whole electron pair with its electron pair, it gets attached to the carbon of the alkyl group. And similar thing happens, the chlorine goes away, halogen goes away, and then hydrogen leaves as proton. So that's why RNH2, because one hydrogen also leaves along with halide. Any point is not clear, just let me know. It's similar mechanism as I explained for H2O here. Now the next one, again similar thing. In this one, same point. Nitrogen has two extra electrons, whole will get attached, and then one more hydrogen from here will leave with chlorine. So that's why here you have only one hydrogen. Then again, next one here, this nitrogen will get attached with its electrons, and after that, this hydrogen will go away. That's why no hydrogen here in this case. Hydrogen will go away as H plus, will combine with Cl minus, Br minus, whatever halogen is there. So when the reaction is with ammonia, we get primary amines. Reaction with ammonia, we get primary amines. When the reaction is with primary amines, we get secondary amines. When the reaction is with secondary amines, we get tertiary amines. And this is something you will be using quite a few times in reactions. Then KCN. KCN will get ionized in K plus and Cn minus, and this carbon will have negative charge here as compared to nitrogen, and that's why the carbon will get attached to the R, not the nitrogen. I'll tell you what actually happens. Cn can exist in two forms. Okay, I'll talk about it just in a few minutes. So that's why RCN will be formed, means RCN, not RNC, because this nitrogen also has extra electrons. It could have got attached to this alkyl group. But the reason it is not getting attached, because carbon in this case has more affinity with another carbon. Carbon affinity is greater than carbon nitrogen. Continuing with that, now you can say if it is reaction is with AgCN, then why not we are getting RCN, why we are getting RNC? I'm going back. In case of KCN, we got RCN. Cyanide got attached to R. But in case of AgCN, CN is getting attached to this R, but not from the carbon, rather from nitrogen. NC. This is isocyanide. CN is called cyanide, NC is called isocyanide. And there is a reason. The reason is KCN is an ionic compound. And that's why it gets ionized in K plus and Cn minus. And because carbon affinity is greater than carbon nitrogen, so carbon gets attached to the alkyl group and halogen goes away, you get RCN. But in case of AgCN, this one is covalent compound. When it is covalent compound, there is no ionization. If there is no ionization, then what happens? Cn first tries to form the bond with R, which has slightly positive charge. Cn slightly negative, Ag positive. So actually what happens that first Cn gets attached from nitrogen and to alkyl group. Carbon is not free. Carbon is attached to Ag, silver. Nitrogen is free. So nitrogen first gets attached to alkyl group, and then after that Ag is detached. So what happens actually, NCAg gets attached, and after that this Ag is removed, X is removed, AgX is formed, and here you have isocyanide. And the reason is because the CN did not ionize first. AgCN is covalent compound. Now these type of species which can connect from two ends, okay, from two ends, these are known as ambidentate ligands. So cyanide is known as ambidentate. We will talk about these in coordination compounds chapter also, okay, ninth chapter. Ambidentate, didentate, chelate, etc. More about it in that chapter. But the species which can connect to the central atom from more than 2 points are known as ambidentate. Same is true for NO2, KNO2, AgNO2, same thing. In this particular case, oxygen is attached to the silver. Now, one more thing, one important thing. You might say that whether this oxygen will get attached or this oxygen will get attached. If you see, this oxygen will have 6 electrons and minus charge, and here nitrogen will have positive charge. Because it does not have all its valencies complete. It has given its electron to the oxygen. Okay. So when oxygen will get attached, oxygen, only this oxygen will get attached, not this one, because this has extra negative charge. So this oxygen will get attached. If nitrogen is available, then nitrogen will get attached. So in this case, this oxygen is not available. Remember, this oxygen does not take part in bonding. This oxygen not available. So that's why this nitrogen will get attached to R and RNO2 will be produced. In this case, oxygen is more electronegative and is free. That's why oxygen will get attached to R. Next, silver salt of acid. Carboxylate ion will be there, and carboxylate ion will get attached to this R. So it will be similar to that. This is R dash C O minus. It is like this. R dash CO minus. This minus will get attached to this one because this has partial positive charge, this has partial negative charge. So here you have R attached here, and remaining Ag and X will combine, whether it is AgCl, AgBr, that will be formed, and you will get S. This is formula of S. Now the next one, lithium aluminum hydride. Lithium aluminum hydride is a very good reducing agent. And you know the reduction definition. Reduction, one of the definitions of reduction is addition of hydrogen. Addition of hydrogen or any other electropositive elements is reduction. And lithium aluminum hydride provides hydrogen very easily. It is one of the best reducing agents, lithium aluminum hydride. Okay. Now this hydrogen gets attached to alkyl group, and in this case we get hydrocarbon, one of the very important conversion methods where you convert alkyl halides to hydrocarbons. Alkyl halides to hydrocarbons. Very important method. Lithium aluminum hydride. Then here you have metal hydrocarbons. So to hydrocarbons, metal is attached. So for example, if it is CH3, CH2, CH2, Ag or Na, okay, or Mg, these metals are attached there. In that case, what happens? This metal and halogen, these combine, and the rest of the R and R dash combine. So alkanes are formed. In both cases, alkanes are formed. Whether we are talking about here or we are talking about here, in both cases, alkanes are formed. And this table is important. This is slightly tricky, slightly boring, but if you can remember these things, you will be able to answer the questions. Most of the reactions we will be talking about will move around this table. This is something what I have already explained, that cyanides and nitrides possess two nucleophilic centers and are called ambidentate nucleophiles. Two nucleophilic centers means they can get attached to the carbon from two different points. It is because cyanide exists as two forms in equilibrium. In one case, there is negative charge on carbon. In another case, there is negative charge on nitrogen. So that's why it can get attached to carbon or nitrogen both. But if carbon is not available, then obviously it has to get attached from the nitrogen. So in that case, it will get attached from the nitrogen. Otherwise, carbon-carbon bond affinity is greater than carbon-nitrogen bond. So if both ends are free, it will get attached from the carbon side. If carbon end is not free, then it will get attached from the nitrogen side. Similarly, nitrite ion, it can get attached from the oxygen, which has a negative charge, or the nitrogen, which has extra electrons. And remember, if oxygen is free, it will get attached from the oxygen only, because oxygen is more electronegative. Okay. So if here oxygen is free, means not bonded, then it will get attached by oxygen only. It will get attached by nitrogen only if oxygen is not free. So in both cases, you need to remember it will get, whether it is cyanide or whether it is nitrite, both will get attached by nitrogen only if the other one is not free. In case of CN, if carbon is not free, only then that will get attached from nitrogen. In nitrite, only if oxygen is not available, then it will get from attached from nitrogen. Now the questions. And this question you can tell me the answer. Okay. Haloalkanes react with KCN to form alkyl cyanide as main product, while AgCN forms isocyanide. Tell me the reason in the chat box. Why? waiting for the answers. We have talked about it quite a few times today. Okay, Prita, okay, correct. Ashi, correct. Mehak, correct. Yes, others, we have talked about it. Okay, the reason is KCN is ionic. So K plus and Cn minus, and Cn is free. When it is free, it will get attached by carbon due to higher carbon-carbon affinity. In case of AgCN, it is AgCN, no ionization. Carbon not free, hence will get attached by nitrogen. So that's why RNC, isocyanide. In this case, RCN, cyanide. Okay. Yes, Tuhina, correct. Shashwat, correct. Yes. Now there was one question. That's it for today. But there was one question which many students asked about the test. Okay, and that was related to the relationship when we need to get the radius of the ions in case of FCC, and edge length is given. Okay, so these type of questions are actually for approximate length. Okay, so I'm just telling you what the catch is there. Normally, when we talk about FCC and we show the phase, we say it is like that. We have in phase, and then we have this type of, right. Okay. So this is for maximum efficiency. What could be the maximum occupied space? When we are showing it like this, it is the maximum occupied space. But in reality, this is not just packed. This is something like this. So if I draw it again, in reality, it is something like this. And now if you see the edge length total is approximately equal to R minus, R minus, R plus, R plus. So it is actually 2R plus 2R minus equals to A. So this is when you are doing the calculations. You are not calculating the packing efficiency. When you are asked to calculate the radius or the edge, and in FCC it is ionic compound. Remember, when we are talking about ionic compound and FCC, and we are not talking about packing efficiency, then this will be the relationship. And the real radius, etc., are calculated by the X-ray spectrography. So what we get from the formula is just an estimate. So for example, if the question is for say NaCl, then it will be mm, R of Na plus radius of Cl minus, and then twice will be A. In other terms, you can say R radius of Na plus radius of Cl minus equals to A by 2. So this is the formula you will be using for FCC in ionic compound, which obviously gives you the approximate value of the radius. Is that clear? So in reality, because the compounds are like this, not completely packed, this is the formula used.